What up, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Hunter TV. Appreciate you guys checking in with me again. If you do like the content that I'm giving you, remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, do everything that you think you should do to support a young creator like me. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. We have a pretty loaded show. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to address some of the comments that I got across social media in regards to some of the content that I put up about Kendrick and Drake. Then we're going to move to YouTube. They put out their monthly listeners list, which was pretty interesting to say the least. And we'll talk a little bit of Shador, a little bit of Asia Wilson, and then we'll end up with wisdom from a fool, or a fool's wisdom. Not sure if I settled on that name yet, but with no further ado, let's get into it. So last week I posted a couple of clips, one about clips. A lot of you guys took exception with their place in hip hop, which I have nothing to do with. They're now 9. So I don't know what happened to your enthusiasm between last week and this week. Maybe your enthusiasm being directed at me was the cause of it almost dropping out of the top 10 on week 2. But hopefully y'all can get it back. So it'll do at least better than To the Casket drops, okay? Which sold 62,000 copies. So hopefully y'all can. I think what you angry Clips fans and angry Kendrick fans need to do is realize, okay, that your anger at me is just projection. You're just projecting your anger onto me, which doesn't translate. Actually, I don't know if you think, or maybe you like look at the other comments and you think that support is somehow uplifting Clips, or maybe you just trying to show out for other people who commenting in the section. But you being angry and saying all that mean stuff to me, it doesn't translate, as you can see, to support for Clips. Okay, they're almost out of the top 10. So unless you guys do something, you got to rally, which y'all should do. Go into my comments and find everybody that said all this angry stuff about Clips. Y'all should meet. You guys should have a meeting. Y'all should create like create a support group, like a digital support group, and be like, what can we do to save our ancillary hip hop groups? What can we do to lift them out of hip hop obscurity, and let's keep them on the main line? Anyway, with no further ado, I also wanted to talk a little bit about, when I talked about last week, I talked about Drake being able to create new bodies of work that have nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar, and having them being very, very, very successful. I mentioned Nokia being one of those records, and it looks like which one, the new song with Central C is going to have some similar success. And not only just new bodies of work, but just new energy. As you guys can see, as you guys saw most recently a few weeks ago, he was able to do 60 songs at Wireless, 60 songs, and not do one beef record. And a lot of you guys are, oh, he did back to back. Yeah, he did back to back, but he didn't create a whole theme concert around it. The point that I was making. Okay, so when we start talking about, Drake being able to move on and create new bodies of work, I mean, his career was not built on beef, nor has he ever structured an entire business model around it. Kendrick has seemingly pivoted in his business, and he structured his entire business around it. The tour is centered around Drake and that one record. They say his name each and every night, multiple times a night. They have 2 songs that are dedicated to him, and then he has his own song in each of their set lists. He has a song in SZA's set list, Rich Baby Daddy, and he has Poetic Justice in Kendrick's set list. So he has 2 songs that are dedicated to him. They have certain skits or themes in there that are like making it look like he's been being deposed. That's directed at Drake, and he owns part of each of their set lists. Drake is going to make probably upwards of 6 figures off this tour, just off the performance royalties alone. It should actually be called, they might want to rename, it should be the GNX Drake Tour featuring SZA and Kendrick. Okay, because the reality is the theme of the tour is Drake centered, and everybody's there to hear one record. Are we going to be honest? We're going to have an honest conversation about this, and I keep inviting you to the adult table, which very few of you have accepted the invitation. You guys want to stay at the child's table, and you guys want to stay with the mudslinging, and you guys want to stay with anecdotal ideas instead of facts. Everybody at that show is waiting for Not Like Us to be played. And so if we're going to have the adult conversation, we can at least agree to that. But there was a larger point that I wanted to make, at least as it relates to Kendrick and the music that he's decided, or the pivot in his content and seemingly his business, because the energy around him and his fans has taken what I feel like is a little bit darker turn, with him deciding to make and dedicate basically this entire year to basically Drake hate season, he has evoked and he's seemingly speaking to a darker, more combative fan. Before, his music was more structured towards we gonna be all right and more uplifting themes, whereas this past year it has not been like that. What's the one record where he said, go to hell, I take him to hell? Like what are you talking about? It seems like he's used hip hop as a cloak for black nationalism. So when you start to say phrases like we don't want to hear you say nigga no more, who can't say the word nigga? That's white people, and that's based on solely upon the fact that Drake's mother is white and the fact that there is a beef right now, because you didn't mind him calling you nigga when he decided to take you on tour when Kendrick was a regional artist only performing in front of 3,000 people and Drake taking your audience to 15. You seem really appreciative about that.
I know it's 15,000 people out there. I'm used to 2,000.
He could say nigga all day then, couldn't? And so when you start to appeal to that demographic, when you start to appeal to a listener that finds that attractive, and then you double down on him, not like us, basically saying that he's what he's saying is what the culture's feeling. The culture is, and let's be honest, it's cold for you're not black enough. And for him to paint himself in that moral cultural high ground, I felt like is a bit rich. And one of the most anti-black things you can do is question another man's blackness, especially a black man that has helped you. You better have some real grounds to stand on outside of a rap beef or jealousy or what you call competition of it.
I've always been a fan of his music. Shout out to Tristan.
You don't question another man's blackness because of the competition. So for Kendrick to feign as some sort of Marcus Garvey on the microphone and then attack another man's, basically his racial purity, I think again you're appealing to the fan that finds that okay and that appeals to is some of the lowest level vibrational frequencies that you're going to get. And so with him appealing to that demographic, they are going to constantly want that red meat. It's like Trump. A lot of people who used to rock with Trump, like I used to watch The Apprentice, but once he evoked the hate, that brought out, we splintered, right? And I can almost guarantee you that the people who support Trump now, they didn't watch Apprentice. They weren't entrepreneurial minds. The people that you see at these rallies now, that person right there, they wasn't watching Apprentice. They didn't care nothing about the entrepreneurial world or the business world. He decided to trade in the business world for the hate world, which got him elected. So Trump can't come out talking about peace, unity, immigration reform, reparations, things like he can't do that or he's going to lose his base. Okay, Kendrick can't come back out talking about we're going to be all right. He has to continuously feed that mob of people, that hate mob of people that hated Drake. And I think that's an important distinction to make right here. I don't think that anybody that really rocked with Kendrick before the beef signed off on him bringing in colorism into this beef. Well, it's actually reverse colorism. But never before in the history of beef have we had somebody question another black man's his ethnicity or being able to say, hey, you can't say the word nigger anymore. We haven't had anything like that. Or even calling someone a pedophile, because I'm not going to go down that road per se. But let's just say Kendrick, him working with pedophiles, he's done that before. Kodak Black is a pedophile. And Kendrick actually worked with Kodak Black after he pleaded guilty to sex crimes against a child. He's a certified sex offender against children. And he decided after he pleaded guilty to have him on Mr. Morale. So clearly someone being a pedophile or being convicted of a child's of crimes against minors, sex crimes against minor, isn't a deal breaker for him. That ain't a deal breaker for Kendrick Lamar at all, because he actually worked with a real certified pedophile, certified, convicted. So that's not the deal breaker. All right. And if you guys felt the same way, then how can you rock with Kendrick Lamar when he's openly and willingly done business and had people on his album who are actually real pedophiles? Anyway, moving past that, I think when you start to bring up the racial stuff, when you start to bring that up, that just brings a low level frequency into the party. These guys climb out of the sewer, and now all of a sudden you don't have Kendrick fans. You just have people that hated Drake, and now they found Kendrick as the outlet. And so I think that the crowd and the tone around his movement has now changed from unity to are you black enough? You know, what is the culture? And I hate that word, the culture, because the culture, this is the culture. I'm going to tell you what the culture is for all y'all that don't know. Lean in a little bit. I can tell you what the culture is not. The culture is not where you're from, how you speak, accents, what socioeconomic background you're from, how much money you make, any of that stuff. Normally what unites us is the fact that we're all minorities. We have experienced racism the globe over, no matter how much money we've had. Most of us have grown up or been a part of governments that have embodied some sort of systemic oppression. And that's the thing that unites us. So it doesn't matter if you're in England, you're in Toronto, you're in Fulton County, LA, wherever you're from, being a minority, that is the culture. And when you start talking about hip hop culture is not beholden to the United States. It's like jazz. Jazz may have started in Harlem, but it moved to Cuba. Cuba jazz is real. Brazilian jazz is real. French, okay? New Orleans jazz, that's all real. So there's not one sort of type of hip hop. What hip hop is born on the margins. And if you have your real story, no matter what it is, you could be rich, you could be poor. The black story is not rich or poor. It's a mixture. You don't have to speak with a certain accent. You don't have to sell dope, or you don't have to do any of that stuff. What hip hop expects is your truth over a hip hop beat. Bring me your truth and your experience over a hip hop beat. And then, of course, we mix in the party records and things of that nature. But hip hop is truth over a hip hop beat, born out of necessity. It was born in the park. Cool Herc, a Jamaican. He wasn't even American. While we up here talking about hip hop culture, a Jamaican is the one who gave birth to the break beats and the sounds in the park. So while we sit up here talking about, oh, he's not American, he's from Canada, he's Jewish, or all of these things, I think it's important to recontextualize where the actual art form was born out of, and it's embracive to everyone from every corner of this world, no matter what your experience is, no matter what your skin color is. You could be white, okay? You could be Eminem from 8 Mile. What is your experience over a hip hop beat? You could be light skinned, you could be biracial, you could be Jewish. Hip hop is embracive of every single experience. But once you decide to tap into that demographic, now you have invited one of the lowest level conversations, one of the lowest level fans. You have given them a seat at the table. And frankly, I think we've never been more divided right now. Oh, is it for the culture? You for the culture, you not for. If you say, and people saying he hip hop, he ain't hip hop, you ain't hip hop, telling somebody that they not hip hop is the most non-hip hop shit you could do, especially when their opinion is different from yours. So in closing, I do think that there is a different climate in hip hop right now that Kendrick has brought into the discussion, and I think it's divisive, and I think that that's not a space that where we need to be right now, and I think it's irresponsible. I don't think that we have the social equity right now to be as divided or questioning people. Are they down for the culture because they're from somewhere else, or how they worship, or whatever accent they may have or don't have, whether or not they have a parent who is Caucasian, or any of that stuff. Because here's the one thing: Drake will never be accepted as white by the whites. Period. He ain't never been accepted as a white dude. So we don't have the social equity right now to be questioning whether or not, especially somebody that's put so many people on. Like. How many people have thanked Kendrick? We got multiple clips of Kendrick thanking Drake. How many people have thanked Kendrick? How many? How many people have gone on and say, hey man, Kendrick looked out for me when nobody else did? We know ASAP thanked Drake. We know Kendrick thanked Drake. We know the City Girls thanked Drake. We know The Weeknd thanked Drake. We know Big Sean thanked Drake. Lil Durk has thanked Drake. So when you have people in your corner, or you have people that is actually really contributing to the upper mobility of the culture and not rapping about it, but actually doing it, I think that matters. I'm going to take the guy that's doing it as opposed to the guy that's rapping about it every time. All right. So